What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3. Um, Keeping it real podcast, sports talk with Ken Dog. And, you know, it's Saturday, and we have some results after the Game 1 series. So the first set of the Game 1 series came through. Obviously, the play-in games as well. So the two play-in games following my last episode was Atlanta Hawks against Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo's team. And, LaMelo's team got blown out. As you guys know, Trey Young, Iceman, he lives for the playoffs. He locked in, and he really kind of made his imprint. They ended up blowing him by I got to look at the results, but 20 or 30 points. It wasn't even fair. So that's great. So guess what? Atlanta Hawks, they're in the 8th seed now, and they will be playing tomorrow. Actually, it'll be the first match. So the first match tomorrow, Sunday, April 17th at 1 p.m. Eastern time, will be the Atlanta Hawks versus the Heat. So they're the 8th seed versus the 1st seed Miami Heat, which, Miami Heat is loaded. I know they have their ups and downs. They have some, I guess for lack of better terms, some turbulence in their NBA schedule where they get into a slump and lose 3 or 4 games in a row or whatever the case. But when they lock in, I mean, they are number one for a reason, and they got so much depth. I mean, whether it's the Jimmy Butlers, you got the Robinsons, the Heroes. You got to look at their roster. I don't want to go one by one, but they got depth. The key, fundamental key nowadays in the NBA to be a successful team is your bench is almost like a starting team. Can be a starting team in the NBA, and they got that feel. So unless this is a huge alert too. Capella, the center of Atlanta Hawks, I mean, this is a big blow, just like the Doncic thing. He's injured. So, I mean, they're doing MRIs and they're checking on it, but he might be back in the series, but he's definitely going to miss game 1 from the latest injury reports. So, I mean, a lot is falling on Trey Young's shoulder, unless he just goes Marvel hero mode. I don't see them winning tomorrow's game. The spread on that is -6.5. Heat are favored, and the public consensus, and the analysts have all kind of predicted the number of 66%. So 66% say that Miami Heat will cover that 6.5. The over and under on that game is 219 points, and the consensus says it will be 67% over. So 67% say it's going to go over. Okay, great. The next game that I'm very excited about, actually, I'm just thrilled about this game. If you're a basketball fan, a genuine basketball fan, this game is you can't miss this game. The Brooklyn Nets versus the Celtics. And the Brooklyn Nets ended up beating out Cleveland Cavaliers with the play-in game, so they got the 7th seed. This is sensational. First of all, you got the Kyrie Irving drama, right? Kyrie used to be on Boston. It didn't work out over there. He got into some rifts he got into some piddle paddles, or what do you want to call it, with Jaylen Brown and the other young guys. It just didn't work out, and he left. There was a time in Kyrie's life where he was just filled with drama. But now I think this is going to be a big statement game, because Nets are loaded and the Celtics are loaded, minus Robbie Williams III, which is a fantastic player. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow. But regardless, Celtics are the number 1 team defensively for consecutive weeks. So that's the reason why they've been so successful in they've been number 2, and they finished off number 2 in the East. So the consensus says -4. So they say that the Boston Celtics will cover the spread by -4. And 51% of the public is saying that they will cover it. So we call this a coin toss, right? This is a coin toss game. Coming down to money line, it looks like the Celtics should win this game. They're playing in Boston, but you just don't know. Kevin Durant is I arguably the best player right now in the NBA. He's playing. If he goes off, gosh, Kyrie Irving, the other guys, if they start clicking, anything could happen. So I'm gonna kind of hedge my bets on this one and maybe play this one live. For the Atlanta one, I would probably take the Heat, the 6.5, maybe buy a point down to 5, 5.5, whatever. But for the Boston one, I think I would. I mean, if you want to go for glory, you could just do money line Nets, which could probably pay out really well. But personally, I'm gonna go the over on this game. I'm gonna stay away from the spread, and I'm gonna go with over 224. The points 224. 60% of the public says this is a good one, so it's pretty solid. I also like the over on the Hawks game, so I might do like a little parlay on that action there. This game, the Brooklyn Nets and the Celtics game, is 3:30 Eastern time, so that is super exciting. Let's go down. We have the Chicago Bulls, which is my second favorite team that I'm rooting for after the Warriors. And I'm going to get into the Warriors. Warriors had a big W tonight, as big as their logo, and I'm exhilarated. I'm pumped. If we can keep playing at that level, things look bright. It looks like the old Warriors. But I'm going to get into that in a second. Chicago Bulls versus the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow, Sunday, April 17th at 6:30 p.m. I'm assuming that's Milwaukee time. You might have to check out the times based on your time zone. But this game is going down, and it's a -10. They're saying the spread is -10. And 62% of the public is favoring the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, Milwaukee can pound them. But then again, the Bulls have some serious players, Vujacic and DeMar DeRozan and, Levine's and things like that. They can. Plus, I mean, -10 is a little high, but they are playing in Milwaukee. It's the first game to feel out. I'm probably going to sit this one out, just try to get an understanding or a feeling of this series. But, I mean, Bulls are very capable of covering that +10. That's not it's not some. I think they can keep it neck and neck. So, the over and under is 229.5, 229 points and a half. So they're saying this is going to be under, low scoring, defensive game. Okay. I mean, it's either Milwaukee is going to be hitting threes and Bucks, and Giannis is going to get to the rack with a bunch of fouls, or it's going to be defensive where they're just going to lock in. And 229 is a significant amount, but gosh, yeah, I can't say that I love betting the under on 229.5, even though consensus says 56% favored that it will. Okay, let's jump lastly to the fourth matchup of tomorrow to conclude the set for the game ones for tomorrow, and that is the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Suns. This is I mean, New Orleans Pelicans have heart. I've been watching them, and I know it was pretty disappointing that Paul George could not play in that game. And the Pelicans they capitalized off that, and that's what else you're supposed to do. Okay, so now they're in the 8th seed, and based off winning that playing game, they got the 8th spot. Congratulations to the Pelicans. I think you guys should get Zion to play, by the way, and Zion wants to play, and there's some sort of conflict going on over there between the management and Zion, but I think you guys should bring him in if you want to stand a chance to beat the Suns. But I mean, even with Zion, I wouldn't see it. Suns are the best team, I think, in the NBA. With Warriors, maybe Warriors in the 2nd or 3rd spot. You never know. There might be a dark horse team, but Milwaukee's no joke. But Suns are stacked. I mean, I was talking about Miami earlier. You want to talk about the bench of the Suns. The bench of the Suns is definitely a great team, even if they were just to play on some other NBA team as a starter. So yeah, it's -10.5. The Suns are favored. They're playing in Phoenix. The public says 68% say they will cover this 10.5 big spread, but Phoenix is known to cover big spreads. I have been putting my money on Phoenix, and they do cover big spreads. Okay, so also the over and under is 224.5. So the public's saying 71% is saying it's going to be under. So they're saying Pelicans are probably not going to be able to get that much points up. That's a possibility. I mean, Pelicans got a really good flow with Ingram, and they got who we got. God, I'm blanking out on fantastic center, Lithuanian guy. I want to say Vujicic, obviously. Valanciunas. Valanciunas is great. I mean, he's a real textbook center. Can do it on both ends, defensive and offensive. But Brandon Ingram and the other guy, oh, God, I love McCollum. McCollum is great. So they got a really powerful three dynamic going on over there. And the other guys just, you never know. They might deliver or not, but it really comes down to that. But Phoenix they got depth. They got 5 solid guys and 2 or 3 superstars like Bookers and Ayton's and Chris Paul's. So and you got so much depth. Mikal Bridges or whatever is one of my favorite players, one of the most underrated players, two-way players. Phoenix is great. So I think Phoenix is gonna pound them. Are they gonna cover 10.5? Most likely, but I'm not sure. I would take Phoenix if somebody gave me a sweet spot of -6. I'd take Phoenix like that. All right. Yeah. So let's jump to today's results. To it. All right. Today's results. Oh my God. We had some. I mean, I followed everything, but specifically, I was super excited about. Okay. So we had Utah Jazz ended up beating the Dallas Mavericks, and that was kind of a close game. You shouldn't have been that close, especially without Luka. But that just shows you that Dallas has what it takes, especially when Luka comes back in. Utah might be in trouble. Minnesota. I know after that big play-in game when they eliminated the Clippers, the whole internet trolled them. They're standing up like they just won the NBA Finals. But Minnesota, I mean, they got Black Jesus on their team, right? And then you got all these hard grinders and Cat Williams doing incredible things. They really took out Memphis. Ja was his first time back in the rotation in a while after his long injury. And I don't know. I mean, they were not grooving. I'm sorry, Memphis was not grooving at all against Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves were grooving. That's going to be a great series. I think my prediction, and by the way, Memphis is number 2 and Minnesota is 7th. So if there is a series where an underdog takes it, I think it's going to be this one. So this could go to Game 7, Game 6, Game 7. You know what? I'm going to be bold just because of what I saw today, and I'm going to say Minnesota takes this in Game 7. All right, why not? Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers played, and, I've been hearing a lot of things on the internet circulating about the Toronto Raptors just being one of the most underrated dark horse teams this season. And, to give them credit, they've been producing and they've been getting hot 5-6 game winning sprees. They have a great team, Van Vliet and the new guy like Scotty Barnes, the rookie. They got, Pascal Siakam, which I wanted on the Warriors for a long time. They got depth. Look at their roster. But, 76ers are a better team. I think 76ers are going to take this series 4-1, 4-2. And 76ers because of that 1 year with the Kawhi bounce and everything, they mark the calendar when they're playing the Toronto Raptors. So I think that, they are going to come out swinging next game too. They beat them by 20 points this time. That's wild. But, Raptors might get a game or two. Great for them. And then last but not least from today's results, the Golden State Warriors. Going into this game, guys, as a Warriors fan, I was confident. We got Clay, Steph, and Draymond, the big three, actually playing together. So I knew that they wanted to make a splash, but it hasn't came so easy for them. And they, this season when those three play, the dynamics, they didn't, just the clicking has been very difficult with the rotations and all these other great role players. And then you have superstars like Jordan Poole and stuff like that. So I was kind of worried and the spread I believe was like -6.5 or something like that, -6.5 or 7. And I looked at it this morning and I was like, I think Warriors are gonna win, but it's gonna be a neck and neck battle because Jokic and his gang, they're gonna fight. You can't really count them out. I mean, they won 3 out of the 4 games this season against the Warriors. So that being said, I also knew that the Warriors marked this on their calendar and they wanted to get revenge. So they went hard. The final score was 123. Golden State and Denver being 107. Denver really didn't have a chance this game. I watched. The ball was moving, the shots were going in left and right, and it was so balanced. Like all the stars, everybody was giving it. I mean, whether it's Curry or Clay or Poole or Draymond or Bielisa, like all these like role players were just like killing it. Everything was clicking, lights out. So, I'm not going to get confident and say next game, like 20 points, we're going to win. But if we play like that, I mean, we are hungry. We're playing the Warriors, even though we're a great team, we're playing with a chip on our shoulders. So I'm very, very excited. That's the latest. Tomorrow I'm going to probably complete placing my wagers tonight. And I'm going to, based off what I told you guys, I'm going to kind of do some more depth analysis and then decide what wagers I want to do. I'm probably only going to end up doing like 2 wagers. Sometimes, doing too many wagers is not a good thing because you might come up and you just got to go with the ones that you really think is a sure bet and invest more into, and do this data analysis and stats analysis and stuff like that. So, all right, guys. Thank you for checking back in with my channel. Again, this is episode 3. Stay tuned. After the game 1 the game 1, I'm going to follow up on the game. I'm sorry, not the game 1. Series number 1, and then we're going to conclude with the results of the new game 1s leading into game 2. So I'm very excited. Stay tuned. All right, peace.